So today I want to talk about deep work locations. So this is going to be relevant for people who really struggle to find some time to actually go into deep working mode, where they go really focused, really deep on the most important work, and why finding a suitable location is so critical. So if that resonates with you, keep watching, keep listening, hope you find it useful. Welcome back to consecutive day 1982 of a diary of a runpreneur. And today's episode is all about the importance of deep working locations. But before we get into that, let's not forget that this vlog is part of a fundraiser for saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon of run vlogging on consecutive days, the distance of a lap of the world, barefoot-style. And the more people we get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. So back to the topic at hand, the importance of finding deep work locations. So first and foremost, this is going to be very relevant to people who work remotely or have the flexibility to work remotely, which, to be honest, is quite a lot of people. Since the COVID days, remote working and flexibility of work has become quite apparent in kind of mainstay offices now, where even if you are expected in the office, most people do get an element of flexibility where they can work from home 1 or 2 days a week. And I think a lot of people find that this hybrid working environment is really good for productivity. But yeah, so today's topic is all about deep work locations. But before we start, it's consecutive day 1982 today, which is it's quite a key milestone really, because I was born in 1982, so I'm now on consecutive day 1982. So it feels kind of relevant. Just thought I'd mention that. The life of a run streak runner, you're constantly coming across, certainly when you get over 1,000 days, you come across key kind of milestones which relate to years in history that mean something to you. And yeah, obviously 1982 is a key one for me. But anyway, I digress. Back to the topic at hand. Deep working locations. So why is it important? Well, I work 100% of the time remotely. I work for myself, I'm an entrepreneur. I have a couple of businesses that I run, lifestyle businesses, so to speak. And yeah, my diary is highly flexible, which comes with the obvious advantages, but also the obvious disadvantages, which a lot of people don't really see. When I talk to them, they think, oh, it's great, you've got so much flexibility to kind of plan how you want to do. Yeah, which is great, but with that comes the kind of temptation of taking time off or doing less when you should be doing more. And yeah, it all depends on what your kind of goals and ambitions are, but I always have some pretty lofty ambitions for what I want to achieve, and working from home 100% of the time doesn't lend itself well for me. So I generally keep working from home for online meetings where you've got a very controlled environment to make online meetings as productive as possible. The rest of the time I generally try and be out and about in different locations to kind of mix things up, keep things fresh so that I don't stagnate. I'm somebody who stagnates quite frequently if you work in the same place for too long. So I like to mix it up. I then mix my running routes up off the back of that. It keeps my running interesting as well. So it all kind of fits together quite nicely. But back to the topic of deep working locations. So I do a little bit of consultancy work, usually around about 6 hours a month at the most, which is great because whilst I'm building businesses in their infancy, it's quite a nice kind of cash flow plug, if you like, for whilst I'm building things. I can do a very small amount of consultancy work and it kind of plugs the cash flow gap, so to speak. And the problem is with the consultancy work, it's quite in depth and needs quite a lot of focus. So just going to a typical cafe or hotel location of some kind I usually kind of struggle, because I do a lot of work with other people as well, just for company. I struggle to kind of go into deep working mode, or certainly on consultancy level stuff. But I found this new location, which is a hotel, which is a really nice hotel. It's really comfortable to work from, and the best part about it, it has really good Wi-Fi, but the kind of 4 or 5G signal is pretty poor on the network provider that I use. So what that means is that people can't phone me or really get messages and stuff through to me. So I've identified this as being a really good location for me to focus on deep work. So when I need to do deep work, I go to this location, and the key thing I do here is I obviously connect to the Wi-Fi for my MacBook, but for my phone, I do not connect to the Wi-Fi. So the end result is that I don't need any apps or anything. They're automatically restricted because of the poor signal, and because I'm not connecting to the Wi-Fi, my phone doesn't distract me. And that's massive for me, because anywhere I'm somebody working, I'll often take these little micro breaks where I'll just, get distracted by some notification of some kind. And I know that everybody talks productivity-wise to turn all these distractions off, but even when I try them for a while, it doesn't really work well for me. And to be quite honest, I'm quite good at doing a chunk of work and then taking a little micro break where I might look at a few things on my phone. They're normally business related things, so I don't get massively distracted by watching kind of TikTok videos and stuff like that. I'm normally reading entrepreneurial articles or stuff like that, which is quite nice, or I play the odd strategic or logical game. None that are too addictive to kind of distract me for the day, but when I've got a 5 to 10 minute break, they're a great way of keeping my brain active in an enjoyable environment. But that's a different topic altogether. But the key thing is, by going to this location, I almost have a location built application which minimises the distractions on my phone. And because the Wi-Fi is good and my MacBook connects to it, I end up being able to go for a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours of solid deep work with very little distraction. And it's amazing how productive I find that. So ultimately, the learnings from my diary for today are that it's not the easiest thing to do to find, but if you're anything like me and struggle with all these so-called productivity apps where you switch off notifications and distractions on your phone, they don't really work for me for a number of reasons, but I do know they work for other people, and if they do, great. But if they don't, consider trying to find a location that kind of helps you deal with this situation. And the easy way of doing it is you want to find a location which is a nice location to work, but where there's minimal 4 or 5G signal, which will mean you might have signal to make an emergency call if you need to, but the general kind of social media or messaging distractions, email distractions you'll get on your phone will be limited because there's not the connectivity is available. And if you're struggling to find a location, just look up your network provider's website and look at the network map, and it will show you, I almost guarantee there'll be a little pocket somewhere in close proximity to you where the signal is poor. The secret is to find a location suitable that you can work from within that black spot. And I've been fortunate enough to do so, and as a result, I've managed to find this place which is really comfortable to work. I enjoy working from it. It's got really good Wi-Fi. I just use the Wi-Fi on my MacBook. I don't connect on my phone, and it automatically kind of gives me, as soon as I walk in this hotel, it's almost like it automatically gives me this kind of respite from the kind of chatter that you get on your mobile phone in terms of distractions, which then allows me to get some really good deep work done, super focused, high importance work that I can sit down and work through really, really nicely. So try it if you can. It's a nice little hack, especially if those kind of distraction limiting apps don't work for you or don't work for you, which I'm certainly one of those. So anyway, that's it from me. Any questions or comments, drop me a line, anything relevant I will respond to. Do remember though, if you believe in my mission of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultra marathon of run vlogging on consecutive days, the distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style, do give this a subscribe, share, like and comment, as the more people we get in front of, the more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. Thank you as always, stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you again tomorrow.